At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you one trick you can use to learn if someone is an avoidant, and it'll actually make them feel more comfortable opening up about it. First, we need to go over some of the common signs of the avoidance attachment style, and there's 5 of them that we're going to go over today. So if you're new to attachment theory, there's 4 main attachment styles. 3 of them are insecure. So here we have the dismissive avoidant and the fearful avoidant. The fearful avoidant is kind of a mix of anxious and avoidant. That's why it's labeled as disorganized. But we're mainly going to cover the dismissive avoidant attachment style today. But the fearful avoidant can certainly embody some of these traits. So these may be indicators that they have an avoidance attachment style. So number 1, there's emotional distance, right? So this is a strong indicator of an avoidance attachment style. They prefer to keep things superficial. They didn't have deep emotional connections with one or more of their caregivers, and this conditioned them to perceive emotional connections as something to avoid. And because their caregivers never approved of them expressing their emotions, they didn't have that connection. They've learned to just shut down their emotions. Now, it doesn't mean they don't have them. They certainly have emotions, but they've learned to suppress and even numb them. So they may avoid having emotional conversations, or they may just shut down if the conversation gets too emotional. And next, there's hyper-independence. Okay, so independence is very important, okay? It's something we all need to have a good sense of independence for ourselves. But avoidants struggle with hyper-independence. Now, a secure attachment style understands that they need to be willing to surrender some of their independence in order to form strong relationships of interdependence, right? But an avoidance attachment style can be very reluctant to accept help, and this can make them appear uninterested in forming those close relationships. They desire those close relationships. We all do. But they struggle with surrendering their independence in order to form those strong relationships. And thirdly, so they're very reluctant to put a label on things, on the relationship, right? So this is how situationships happen, because a label would mean commitment. Commitment would mean taking a step towards vulnerability. And again, they tend to keep things superficial. So it's what feels safe for them. So they may have trouble putting a label on the relationship, and it can push them away even further if it's brought up. And so this is how situationships happen, because they're reluctant to put a label on things often. Next we have they can struggle to empathize. So if someone expresses intense emotions to an avoidant, whether positive or negative, the avoidant may shut down because they might not know how to respond appropriately. They may come off as cold. It's not their intention, but they just don't know how to give an appropriate response. So they suppress their emotions. They've learned to suppress their own emotions. So it's going to be challenging for them to process the emotions of others and give an appropriate response when someone expresses their emotions to them. And number 5, they tend to avoid conflict. So navigating challenges in a relationship, conflict resolution, healthy communication. An avoidant attachment style may struggle with these fundamental tools of a healthy relationship. So they feel safer just withdrawing at any sign of conflict. And of course, this is going to lead to a lot of unresolved issues, unresolved tension, etc. A secure attachment style is going to know how to address conflict in a way that's direct, healthy, accountable, and empathetic. But avoidants struggle with this. They need more time and space to process the emotions of that conflict to self-soothe. So these are some of the common signs of the avoidance attachment style. And if you see these signs in someone, then it could be a strong indicator that they have an avoidance attachment style. So I did promise you at the end of this video one trick that you can use to learn if someone has an avoidance attachment style. I'm going to share that trick with you right now. Here it is. You could just ask them, right? You could just ask them. Now, there's 2 types of dismissive avoidance. They're either they're unaware or they're self-aware, and this is a good way to see if they're unaware, if they're self-aware, and to learn more about their attachment style. So just ask them What's your attachment style? Do you know your attachment style? And it's preferred that you do this early in the relationship, early in the dating phase, while you're kind of still in that honeymoon phase, because things are still going good. It's going to be a much more comfortable conversation when you do this early on. And it doesn't need to be a serious conversation. It can be very, very lighthearted conversation about attachment styles. And you can even share this video with them. You can watch it together. Tell them it was my idea, right? To have this conversation, to watch this video together, and ask them to like and subscribe the channel. And it can be a very fun way for you two to get to know each other, to get to know each other's attachment styles and learn more about your compatibility early on in the relationship. And it's just a fun conversation to have. So I hope that helps. I hope I brought some good into your life today. If so, please like and subscribe the video. And again, if you think this video is going to help somebody, please share it with them. And please share your thoughts and your comments and your experiences in the comments section. I love reading and responding to them. It's been amazing reading everybody's stories. So until next time, you take care, and I'll see you in the next.